If you are an observer of American politics, I'm pretty sure you have heard the words Republican and Democrat. Yes, you have. Otherwise, you probably won't even be clicking on this video. So, let us try to understand what these words mean, what their history is, and what their relevance is on current day politics, all from a neutral perspective. First, let us start with the Republican Party, as they are the ones in power the time this video is being filmed. The Republican Party, aka the Grand Old Party or GOP, is the main right-wing political party in America. It is easily recognizable with its elephant symbol and is often associated with the color red. Founded in 1854 by anti-slavery activists who opposed the famous Kansas-Nebraska Act, which promoted the expansion of slavery into American territories. The party rapidly grew in the North, supported by the Whigs Party, the Native American Party, and the Free Soilers Party, all of whom were major parties at the time. The Republicans first came into power in 1861 through Abraham Lincoln, who abolished slavery in US, and has since been the major opposition party to the Democratic Party. Fast forward a few decades, in 1929, after the Great Depression, the Republican Party witnessed a collapse of its dominance. The following decades witnessed high levels of Democratic Party dominance in the US. A popular president of the time, Franklin D. Roosevelt, championed the idea of New Deal, which further diminished the Republican power. After the late 2000s, they shifted the ideology completely to right-wing populism and now exists as a conservative, neo-nationalist Christian right organization. This includes a direct opposition to LGBTQ rights, abortion, gun control, and immigration laws, all of which are quite relevant in current affairs. After the 2016 Trump elections, the ideology shift has now culminated in the party being illiberalist, favoring strong presidential power and a government that enforces conservative cultural values. Now, a new movement called re-immigration is also gaining support among extremist factions of the party, which vows for the ethnic cleansing by mass deportation of non-white ethnic minorities in America. Now, since coming to power in 2025, the new Trump administration has championed their conservative approach with the America First policy. Another important thing to cite here is the highly popular Make America Great Again movement, or the MAGA movement, which gained popularity during the 2024 election campaigns. Multiple social media programs also gained popularity during this period, often led by the famous internet personality Charlie Kirk, who was also shockingly assassinated by a sniper last September 2025. This also gave way to a lot of controversies regarding the fact that the Republican Party argues in favor of retaining the existing gun laws. So that's it for the Republican Party. I know obviously this is not a deep explanation, but still let's get to that on the conclusion. So now let us discuss about the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is a major left-leaning party in the United States of America. It is often distinguished by its donkey symbol and is often associated with the color blue. Initially formed in 1828 as the Republican Democratic Party, it served as a major opposition to the conservative Nationalist Federalist Party, which was the first known party in the free United States. The party first came into power in the 1820s through the famous Independence War hero Andrew Jackson's election victory, and thus making the party the oldest active political party in the world. During the American Civil War in the 1860s, the Democratic Party split into two, the northern factions and the southern factions, over slavery. The southern factions encouraged slavery due to it having high amounts of plantations and more slave requirements, whilst the northerners demanded an end to it, an idea championed by the Republican President Abraham Lincoln. After the Great Depression in 1929, the dominance of the Republican Party collapsed, and the following decades witnessed high levels of Democratic Party dominance. Franklin D. Roosevelt, a popular president of the time, came forth with the idea of New Deal, which helped people reconstruct their lives after the World War II. Following the 1960s civil rights movements, the Democratic Party underwent a major political ideology shift. Thus, the New Deal coalition collapsed. The white voters and conservatives were alienated after the civil rights movements in the 1960s when John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson, the two popular American presidents at the time who were Democratic, shifted their ideas and championed the revolution, which demanded equal rights for Black Americans. This, combined with the Republican strategy carefully being implemented in the South, America underwent a major political shift. The South, which was a major Democratic stronghold, now shifted and turned into a major Republican stronghold. The Democratic Party now serves as the major opposition to the Trump government. They often speak out about the strict conservative policies of the Trump administration. The Democrats follow a much more left-leaning ideology system. They support LGBTQ rights, demands for gun control, and supports rights to abortion. So basically that's it for the Democratic Party also. Now let us look at some common comparisons that we can do with the Democratic side and the Republican side. As I mentioned earlier, the Democratic side supports LGBTQ rights, abortion rights, gun control, and equal rights to non-white Americans, all whilst the Republican side strongly opposes all of these. There is a major difference between the two parties in the case of taxation also. The Republican side argues for equal taxation for all. They also support the idea of lowering taxes and bringing in a smaller government. The Democratic side supports the idea that a larger government is required for the country. They also support the idea that taxes should be progressive, means the rich should be taxed more and the poor should be taxed less according to their income. It is hard to find instances where both parties agree with each other, but one of those instances is their foreign policy. Both parties have a very similar foreign policy. A common doubt that most people get while studying this specific topic is the question that how did the US end up with this two-party scenario, that is the bipartisan political system? That story is quite long, quite complicated, and I'll explain that in my next video. Now, my honest advice to people who are researching on this very topic. An important thing that you have to know is that if a person calls themselves a Republican or a Democrat, doesn't mean that they support the extremist factions of both these parties. All parties and all ideologies have their own extremist factions, because it is a big political spectrum. Quite simply, you shouldn't categorize people into these boxes just because of the fact that they call themselves a Democrat or a Republican. An example for this is that if you take a very liberal Republican, that very liberal Republican might be on the same line as a very conservative Democrat. There is no real need to actually support a specific party. As a political neutralist, I believe supporting a specific party for the rest of your life is quite a dumb idea. Just because you have a specific kind of ideology doesn't mean that you have to support a specific party. Parties change their ideologies all the time. People change because the party is not exactly a single person. It's based off people. So based on the people's opinions at the time, at the situation, the party's ideology will change. So what I'm saying right here is actually quite relevant in the current day scenario, because both these parties are highly popular in social media. They have very popular social media campaigns going on even right now. So if you are a person who is trying to study both of these political parties, be aware of these points. With that being said, I think it's safe to conclude today's video. If you like the video, let me know down in the comments. If you want to watch more videos like these, subscribe to our channel. Above all, thanks for watching.